Hey guys, welcome back. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2023. I swear to God, every year since 2020, it just sounded more and more sci-fi than the last. 2023 sounds like a date from Terminator, not a date that I should be sat here living in. Whew, okay, let me just put the existential crisis out of the picture for a minute. Let's talk about Halo, because 2023 could be a good year for Halo. After so many years of the dry period, of thinking we're finally going to get a good year, only to get a year that's not exactly great, I think 2023 has the potential to not be an insane, excellent, out of this world year for Halo, but I do think it could be a good year for Halo, and today I want to talk about why. So first off, let's begin with the big one, Halo Infinite. Obviously the biggest thing on the horizon for Infinite is Season 3, which comes out in March, and being perfectly honest, I don't think the content that they've shown off for Season 3 so far is particularly groundbreaking or is really going to have much of a massive effect on the game, but what will possibly, I hope, have a big effect on the game is that, according to 343, they've reached seasonality, which means that content updates for Infinite are finally going to be frequent. No more 6 or 10 month long seasons. The big thing with Season 3 is not the content that it's bringing, but the fact that it's going to be the start of seasonality.
Those extra long seasons are a thing of the past.
They are a thing of the past.
We are getting our rhythm. We are ending the year on a high note.
Consistency.
Having the game's live service finally hit its stride is going to mean a consistent, reliable release cadence for new content that the game still needs, which is going to give people so much more of a reason to actually stick with the game, because they know, roughly speaking, when the next content drop is going to be, and also they can be pretty sure that that drop isn't going to get delayed and they're not going to get left in the dark waiting on content for God knows how long. This also means that, at least theoretically, by the end of this year, we should be on Season 6 for Infinite, which, at least looking at it quantitatively, means that we should get about 3 times as much content coming to Infinite this year than we did last year, which is a major boost. Halo Infinite still has a lot of missing content. Infection, Assault, Griffball, Race, a progression system, cross-core customization, campaign split screen, assassinations, a service record, commendations, functioning theater mode, etc, but I think that this year's content for the game will really eat into this list of missing content. With the increased frequency of updates this year, my hope is that by the end of this year, or at the latest the start of next year, Infinite will finally be at a level of content that it should have been at launch. I can cross my fingers and hope, but with the amount of seasons we should be getting this year, and also any drop pods or anything else that's like kind of thrown in between the seasons, I think there's a chance that we're at least pretty damn close to the level of content the game should have had at launch. 343 have also shown, with the early release of the custom game browser, that the new leadership changes they've had over there have had a clear effect on development and the studio's efficiency. So much so that they're now able to release content for Infinite earlier, ahead of schedule, as opposed to constantly having to delay it. In the past, if a feature ever had its release date changed, it was never moved forward, it was always delayed and pushed back. But now they've shown that they can actually release stuff ahead of schedule, which is a big deal for not just the game itself, but also for the general sentiments about the game. If people know that they can actually beat their schedules sometimes and not just delay everything, then I mean, people are going to be more inclined to play the game because they're not going to be sat around waiting for content for even longer than they're told they're going to be waiting for it. Honestly, the 343 leadership shakeup should at the very least make you open-minded about the possibility of Halo not having another awful year. They are, without a shadow of a doubt, the biggest changes the studio has ever undergone, and I mean, Pierre is great and Joe is Joe, right? That kind of goes without saying.
What if the phones rang?
And I think already we've seen the effects of this change on development, like I said, with the custom game browser, so hopefully those effects can be carried forward, and all the seasons that come out this year can at the very least meet their expectations, if not, in some cases, fingers crossed, try and exceed them again. And finally for Infinite, I'm just going to say this to try and speak it into reality. Hopefully the universe is listening. 2023 is the second year after Infinite's campaign released, and we've not had any follow-ons in any way whatsoever so far, so I'm going to try and speak it into reality. Please let 2023 be the year that we get a campaign DLC announcement. I'm not going to hold out hope for it, but I am going to cross my fingers all day, every day, and hope. Please. By the way, make sure you check out my newest branch out video. It's not only my best one yet, but it's got a banger of a thumbnail. Now, something that I actually am firmly confident we will see announced this year is Halo Infinite's Battle Royale mode, Tatanka, developed by Certain Affinity. All the current rumours and leaks have Tatanka releasing in 2024, and unless they decide to randomly shadow drop it out of nowhere this year, given the lack of any official information or even teasers or announcements about it, I think that these 2024 rumours are true. If I was a betting man, I'd say we'd probably get an announcement or at the very least a teaser about the Battle Royale this year, most likely at the Game Awards in December, I'd say, followed by probably like a gameplay reveal or gameplay event or something early next year, and in my opinion, a release in March of next year. I don't think Battle Royales now can really contend with like other major game releases, so I don't think they'd ever release it in November and vie with like the new Call of Duty or a new Battlefield game or all the other games that typically release in November. Instead, I can definitely see them releasing it during a much quieter period in like March or April next year, so it doesn't have too much competition. I think that would be the best way to go, and I mean, there's a reason that Warzone and Apex released at that time as well, right? I think that's a good release window for a Battle Royale, so next March is when I think we'll probably end up getting the BR, with announcement later this year. Now, regardless of your thoughts on a Halo Battle Royale, whether you really want one or you really don't want one, I know there's a lot of people in both camps, just keep in mind that it's made by Certain Affinity with ex-Bungie legend Max Hoberman at the helm, which at the very least will yield some interesting results, right? It's definitely going to be interesting to see how it turns out. Now, moving on to MCC, this game is finally in a spot that I never thought I'd see it in. 2022 was a fantastic year for MCC with the release of mod tools and even more so Steam Workshop support, which was like a pipe dream of mine so many years ago. And now I kind of think this game is pretty much in the almost best state it could be, at least in the terms of its content, right? I mean, the game has finally become MCC Custom Edition, which, like I said, was a pipe dream for so many of us years ago, and it's now a reality. So I really don't think this game needs any major updates in 2023. The only updates I'd really want to see for it are like bug fixes and stuff like that, and maybe increasing the optimization of the game. If it were to get any major updates, I would love to see mods on console, although I don't think that's ever going to happen, unfortunately. I'd love to see campaign crossplay, but most importantly, one of my most requested features, in fact, my last requested feature from 343 for MCC, is the ability to use every single game's classic UI and menu, complete with all their original theming and functionality, as an MCC menu. I know that is probably incredibly hard to do, to optimize, God, what, 10 plus years of menus to fit new features and tools. I know that's probably impossible to do, but I can keep dreaming, right? That's my last pipe dream wish for this game. If they ever did that, the game would absolutely be complete for me, but even if they don't, MCC right now is in a fantastic spot, and besides just bug fixes and stuff, I don't really think it needs anything else official. I think it's kind of hit its peak position. But a game that absolutely isn't in its peak position is Halo Wars 2. Now, yes, I understand that this game is small and niche with a small and niche community, but at the same time, it's the most recent Halo game that 343 released before Infinite. So this year, I'd kind of like 343 to stop pretending that Halo Wars 2 doesn't exist. I'm not in tune with Halo Wars 2 or its community, and I've not played it for a while, but I know for a fact that the game has its fair share of bugs still, and also balancing issues that would make those who stuck with the game really happy if 343 fixed. As a huge RTS fan who dreams of a day when the genre finally resurges, it does pain me to see this game constantly being ignored, especially with the issues that it's got right now. So 343, please, at the very least, just acknowledge Halo Wars 2 this year, and maybe if you can fix some of the bugs, balance some stuff better, I guess. I mean, like I said, I don't know the ins and outs of the state of the game right now. I just know that it's got bugs that need fixing and that it has balancing issues. So 343, please, if you'd address that this year, I'd be greatly appreciated. And this is the unfortunate part of the video where I remind you that the Halo TV show exists. I'm sorry. Season 2, for better or worse, started filming last year, and as much as an abomination as Season 1 was, I do think there's a slight modicum of hope for Season 2, right? Reason being, we have a new showrunner, thank God. David Weiner, who I've seen before working on Fear the Walking Dead as executive producer, in particular for its first 3 seasons. Now, without going on much of a completely off-topic rant, I absolutely adored season 1 to 3 of Fear the Walking Dead. It was a fantastic spin on the Walking Dead universe with great characters, great character arcs, great story elements. I was really not thinking I was going to enjoy it when I went into it, and I ended up loving it. It was greatly, greatly underrated. But then, for some ridiculously stupid reason, when season 4 came along, AMC basically cleaned house and replaced the entire team and pretty much just rebooted the show, and it just became boring, bland, and just flat out bad. But David Weiner was, like I said, the executive producer of season 1, 2, and 3 of Fear the Walking Dead that I absolutely loved. So I think that it's going to be interesting to see how he does Halo. It does give me a medium-sized hopium injection that maybe season 2 won't be as awful as season 1. At the end of the day, the main problem with the show was the absolutely god-awful writing, so hopefully he can intervene with that and improve it. Hopefully he has done, because they've started filming. Now, I'm not going to sit here and get really excited for season 2, and I'm not going to try and hype you all up and tell you that the show is going to be amazing. I frankly don't care about its story because it was so bad in season 1, and I don't suddenly expect a massive U-turn in quality, but I am interested to see if it improves, and by how much, given that there's now somebody at the helm whose work I actually really, really like. So we'll see. I mean, season 2 probably won't release this year. It's probably going to be next year. We'll probably get a teaser or a trailer this year, which, as we all know by like game and movie trailers, doesn't tend to be particularly indicative of how the actual product is going to be, but we'll see how that goes. And speaking of trailers, announcements, teasers, and debuts, and all that good stuff, when are we going to see them? Well, there's a number of both confirmed and unconfirmed events throughout the year, at which we will hopefully see something. So we have the rumoured Xbox event that should be going on, if the rumours are true, in Q1 of this year. We have the Summer Games Fest, which begins on June 8th. E3 this year, which goes from June 13th to June 16th. There's also the possibility of another one of Xbox's XO events happening somewhere in Q4. There's not been one for a few years, but maybe they bring it back this year. I don't know. Maybe that event in Q1 is XO 23. Who knows? And then, of course, we have finally the Game Awards in December of this year. I'm really hoping that Halo has some presence at any of these shows, just in some capacity this year, because last year, besides collabs with other games like Flight Sim and Fall Guys, it was completely absent from everything, which was a little bit disheartening given that it's the year after Infinite came out. So hopefully this year we have some Halo presence at these big shows. And now I want to talk about 2023 for me and the channel, because I've got some pretty big plans this year. This is going to be the year that I finally break out of that creative box that I've trapped myself in for way too long, and that has also been limiting my potential, and just like triple, quadruple down on the branch out effect. My main goal this year, it's a steep one, but my main goal is 1 million subscribers. Now, you've got a long way to go, don't get me wrong, 430,000 subs as of making this video, but I genuinely think that it's a doable, achievable goal with the new direction that we're going in. The support that you guys have shown on the branch out videos so far this year has genuinely, honestly blown my mind. I can't thank you all enough. Besides the odd 1 or 2, like the Doom video and the Tarkov videos that didn't do as well, they've almost all exceeded my expectations, some of them absolutely blown through them, and they've formed a great foundation for continuing the branch out effort this year. I will still be making Halo videos this year, don't worry, but branch out videos are going to be my priority. My Halo content this year is going to be pretty similar to last year, so lots of mod videos, reviews of the Infinite seasons as they release, and also if we get any major updates to Halo's main story, I'll be doing some lore videos about those as well. But for branching out, I mean, I honestly have hundreds of ideas for branch out videos that I want to make. You can see a few of them on screen right now. This is a few, not all of them. Trust me, this video would be 10 hours long if I showed all of them. Lots of really cool, different ideas to really flex my creative muscles and just fall in love with making videos again. Because honestly, 2022 was there's no other word for it. It was a depressing year of YouTube for me, to be quite honest with you. I have not enjoyed this year at all. It was the equivalent of expending so much energy to just tread water and get nowhere. Growth last year, just like for every Halo content creator, was practically non-existent. I mean, especially compared to the years that actually led up to Infinite's release. Looking back at my analytics for last year is, being perfectly honest with you guys, fucking depressing. I was really hoping and banking on Infinite being the Halo game that finally put the franchise back on top and that finally made it a tier 1 game for content creation. But I guess that was wishful thinking. That was the last time that I ever put all my eggs in the Halo basket. By the end of 2023, I really want to be in a spot where I can reliably make content about pretty much anything gaming related and have it perform consistently well. I feel like I mean, obviously it goes without saying that is the dream, but I really think that with the efforts we've made so far of branching out, and with the amount of work that I'm going to be putting in this year, that is definitely an achievable goal. By the end of this year, I want to be able to look back on 2022, and I'm sorry, this is going to sound so cliche, but just hear me out. Look back on 2022 as a small blip in my YouTube journey. And with the new direction we're heading in here with the channel, I honestly think that I can make that a reality. By 2024, this bad boy is gonna have an older brother, I think. And so that's my prospective 2023 video for both Halo and also my channel. I just want to reiterate again how thankful I am for all of you guys who stuck with me last year with the Halo content, but also with the branch out content. I'm gonna say it again, I honestly can't thank you guys enough for the support on the branch out content. It has vastly exceeded my expectations for the most part, and I can't wait to get working on all of it again this year. I mean, hell, I literally had a branch out video in the background before I started recording this, so all work is continuing as normal. I can't wait to continue branching out this year. So with that said, I want to give a massive thank you to all of my amazing patrons for the continued support over there, and thank you all so much for watching. Once again, Happy New Year, friendos, and I'll catch you all in the next one.